whenever I think of tequila, it's just like,
well, I'm gonna enjoy this now.
it was bad vibes.
The theme is American.
Question, tell me what you think about me. I buy my own diamonds and I buy my
And
own.
welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you are all here. Welcome to a new video. Today is a travel vlog, however I'm filming it a little bit differently because when we get into it, we'll get into it why I'm filming it this way. But basically, instead of just showing you like a normal standard vlog, I have taken clips and bits from my trip to Florida. However, it's not very fluid, it's not very like, you know, continuous, so it's just easier I think if I talk through the vlog almost and like just kind of tell you what was going on and then show you clips in between. So it's going to be a little bit of a different style of vlog today, however hopefully you're still interested. I mean, yeah, it's what I can do with the footage to make it the most sense out of it, I think. So that's what we're going to do today, and yeah, let's get straight into it. First time in America. I've never been to the USA before until this trip, which was basically not, the purpose of the trip wasn't the most idyllic or yeah, so it's a bit like I didn't really know whether to vlog or not, because basically it was because my great uncle was ill and me and my cousin were sent over to Florida in order to like just, you know, visit him and be there for him during that time. Unfortunately, he has now passed away since coming back, so I'm glad that I had the opportunity to, you know, meet him and see him and be there for him during his time whilst he was at the hospital. When we were there, he was actually about to be discharged and he was on the up, he was getting much better, but he fell ill again and this time didn't make it through, unfortunately. So yeah, not a great ending. However, that's why this vlog is going to be me talking through stuff, because I was visiting family, so it wasn't really a holiday per se. However, it was an amazing opportunity and experience to have, and this channel for me has always been about sharing my experiences and just, it's literally like a little memory bank of all the things I've done. I've had this channel since 2015 or 14, and I had a previous channel before this. Unfortunately, everything from that is deleted, so I have no clips from that. But in terms of the actual clips and stuff from this channel, I think I have it from about 2014 or 2015. And yeah, I can literally look back at periods of time in my life, and I just love that about YouTube and stuff like that. So even though the trip didn't go as planned or wasn't really a holiday per se, it was a new experience. Like I said, it was the first time I was ever in the US, so it was something I definitely had to document one way or the other. So that is why me and my cousin went on this trip. Her name is Dee, and she has been in a lot of my other videos. I feel like we've kind of made it this unspoken pact that me, my sister and my cousin all go away every single year, and it is my favorite trip of the year every single time. I feel like we just travel so well together. We're always up for stuff and there's just never any issues, and I just love that about us. So it's definitely going to be a continuous thing. Like when you find those people that you can travel with, I feel like you just have to grip on with both hands and just enjoy it, like, you know, take every single advantage of it. So definitely we'll be having a lot more vlogged trips with those two.
Problem to me because it's no use lying there and you can't do nothing about it. Right. But print down, run up the British and you are supposed to do everything that they can work with. That's all. You're right.
fast, live too fast. Ain't no such thing as too fast. People say I drive too fast, move too fast, live too fast. Ain't no such thing as too fast. Living at the speed of light, like a bullet. I could be there by the morning.
Oh yeah, I told you.
I can't
Maybe I try. I'm gonna try these ones then.
so I ain't got no time to wait. I've been down and out for too long, and I ain't got too many options. Too fast, move too fast.
So we ended up going to, well, where my family was based was in Fort Lauderdale. So we stayed mostly in the Fort Lauderdale area of Florida.
Okay, about to try the Crocs. Is it the Crocs? The Cross? For the first time we got pineapple and strawberry flavor. Tastes normal, nothing crazy.
And also we ended up tripping to Miami, which I'll talk about a little bit later on because that is a little bit juicy, but let's pause there. Hey guys, so we are in secret destination Costa Rica. No, we're in Florida, which is a very random and spontaneous trip. I probably should not have turned the fan on before I filmed this, but we're here now. We're currently eating some popcorn. I'm not a fan of butter popcorn, but this is also sweet, which is a bit weird. Tastes good. So yeah, it's actually my first time in America ever. Well, the USA. USA. Yeah. So I thought I would vlog it because, you know, I like to vlog some of my trips, and I thought, monumental moment, have to vlog this. I will. It's probably going to be a bit all over the place because we're staying with family, and I don't really want to show the, I'm actually showing them a picture of it. I don't really want to show the house and stuff like that, so I will only be vlogging like little bits, and when we're out mostly. I've already vlogged some stuff already, which you probably would have seen, which I don't know how I'm going to put this together in editing, but I'm sure I'm going to be able to do it. But yeah, we needed to introduce this video because we are currently on our second day here, like second full day here, and I haven't actually properly picked up the camera and like spoken and stuff. So once you do that step, the rest just flows. So I had to do that.
Let's do it again.
Okay, and action. I'm with my cousin here. If you watch my other travel videos, she's in them too. Or yeah, I think you're in most all of them actually. Lucky her. Anyway. Yeah, it's very hot and having a good time. Arriving in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, let me think. It was definitely different how I imagined it. I don't know what I imagined, but I feel like whenever I keep going on trips, I feel like I could actually be anywhere else in the world. Like, I don't know, I feel like so many different places are comparable to each other in some kind of way. I mean, I've been to the Caribbean, so there is that kind of Americanized-esque essence to it in a way, like, you know, the trees and the greenery. One thing I will say about Florida that I noticed is the greenery is green, like vibrant. Everything is vibrant. I don't understand how, but I was amazed. I was shook. Like, there was something I definitely didn't expect to notice or to be a thing. But I mean, in the UK it's very green, but I wouldn't say our green is vibrant like America. I don't know if it's America in general or just Florida or Fort Lauderdale or whatever, but it was like the greens on the trees were like, if I had turned the vibrancy up on like a picture or something like that. Like it was pretty amazing to see, to be honest. And also the cars, like one thing with going to America I noticed, you cannot walk anywhere. Now I understand when I watch like American YouTubers and stuff and they just drive everywhere, it's because your roads really ain't made for walking. Like here in the UK I be walking everywhere. I have passed my driving test, but I don't need a car necessarily because I can get everywhere by, I can get most places, let's say most places by walking, especially in my area. But for you guys, I found it very hard. I think me and my cousin found it very hard to like get around because we had to like, you know, do Ubers or wait for family members or stuff like that. It wasn't such a thing where we could just kind of like walk outside and like walk to the corner shop or walk to somewhere that we wanted to go, unlike maybe some other places we've been to. So that was a little bit annoying, although I did love seeing the cars there. The cars are like gorgeous. They had some wonderful cars, and I feel like I'm slowly getting into cars. I don't know why this weird obsession has come from. Maybe I'm like subconsciously trying to persuade myself to like start looking for cars and stuff and get ready for that era of my life. I think it is time I get a car, to be honest, but we're not there yet. But anyway, looking at like your cars, like the different colors, like you guys got purple cars, red cars, like all the different colors of the rainbow, all different types of cars, which I think if you've been to the UK or you've been to maybe more European places, you'll kind of understand what I mean. Like if you're from America, you're probably like, what do you mean, like what's so special about cars? But no, you guys have like nice cars. Like I think it doesn't even matter what kind of area you're in, because we weren't necessarily in a very affluent area of Florida or of Fort Lauderdale. However, you could just see like the most nicest cars wherever you go. It doesn't matter the area, I feel like. Spiritually speaking, since this is a spiritual channel and I am a spiritual person, I feel like I have to talk about the spiritual perspective of going to America and just being in America. I always get these like instant hits, like intuitive hits, and whatever it is, I kind of go with it. And when I touch the dollars, the money, the dollar, it was bad vibes. I'm so sorry. I feel like some of you guys will agree with me, but I don't know what it was about that money, but it did not give me a good energy at all. Which is, I'm not always like this. Like I'm not going to just go touch a book and be like, oh yeah, good vibes, bad vibes. But just the way that it made me feel compared to like if I had euros or something. Not saying that like pounds, euros, all of that, they got their own issues, they do. But I think it just said a lot about, let me just take a step back. But you know when you're younger, well when I was younger, I would watch Disney Channel, I'd watch like so many American shows and just fantasize and dream about going to America and what it would be like. And I would always kind of have this idea of, I've always had this idea that I would not live in the country that I grew up in. So I kind of have this feeling or this kind of idea that I wouldn't like to live in the UK for the rest of my life. Like when I have children and stuff, I would love us to be in a different country. I don't know where, and I don't know if that's going to be true, because the more I travel, I'm like, ooh, I actually really miss my home comforts when I travel. Like just the really simple things, just knowing where things are, that kind of comfort, I do miss it when I travel. So I'm like, maybe I will be here for like the rest of my life. But in my idyllic mind, I'm somewhere else. I don't know. And I've also noticed actually, I don't like it being hot all the time either. So I do like that we have seasons. So I would have to be somewhere that has seasons. But I don't think it can be the US. And what I was trying to say is, when I was younger, like watching Disney Channel and stuff like that, I don't feel like a lot of people in our generation, especially if we didn't grow up in the US, we kind of have this, I keep using the word idyllic today, is that the word of the day? Like freaking hell, what other word is there? We have like this okay, we just have this perception of the US that isn't true, especially as you get older and you realize that, well, no country is perfect, but there is a lot of just corruption that happens there. And I think just actually going there, especially at this age, it really dawned on me that I don't think I can live in America. I don't think that would be the life for me, to be honest. But don't hold me to it, because I'd be saying stuff and then that's like 2 years from now and I'd be like, actually I take that back. So everything I say, just take it with a pinch of salt, because this is how I feel right now, just saying. but I don't think Florida would be the place for me anyway. And I've heard stuff about Florida from Americans, so you guys might agree as well. But yeah, just spiritually speaking, I felt like it wasn't a great vibe for me in Florida. And I'd love to, maybe I should look up my astrography, which is like how your astrology, your natal chart works or is influenced by different parts of the world. That's probably a rubbish explanation, but yeah, I feel like I've always wanted to go to Seattle, obviously Hawaii, standard. I know it's a bit of a techie issue to go to Hawaii these days because of over tourism and stuff, but yeah, so you know, I don't know, but yeah, I don't know, places like Seattle and Chicago has always drawn me in, as well as LA. Even though everyone says they don't like it, I feel like I would thrive in LA, which is really weird. I feel like it's just the creativity, the freedom that's in the kind of air in LA, like the very Piscean energy. And obviously I'm like a Pisces stellium, so like it's very Neptunian in LA. I hope you guys get it if you like are into astrology. But anyway, we're going off topic. So yeah, that's kind of how I felt spiritually when I was there. I've noticed though, when I get back from trips, I kind of have an overall vibe, an overall opinion of it, a more positive view of the trip overall. I feel like when I'm in the trip, when I'm experiencing it, I am kind of like, ugh, you know, if it's not something great, I'm kind of like, I'm ready to go home, I'm ready to do it. And I think there's just certain things that I need from a trip that I haven't quite experienced yet, and I think once I have them, I will enjoy traveling a little bit more. But now I'm just kind of, it is kind of just like grating on me, these little things. So I don't know. I don't know if I will go back to Florida anytime soon, spiritually speaking anyway. But objectively, it is just the colors of the place, the vibrancies of it, very, very beautiful. Okay, let's move on to Miami for the weekend, because we left here on Thursday, I want to say. Did we arrive on Thursday as well? Let's just call it Thursday, Friday. So for the weekend, we spent time in Miami, baby. Miami, going to Miami. Going to Miami.
Really picked up Steve back in Indiana because he's now determined.
I'll meet her at a bar. I'll sit down at a restaurant with her.
Just hold on a moment, I need to
I'm gonna bring Chris home. Detective often believes that the more they talk.
Right, oh my god. Oh, it looks so sweet. It looks terrible, but hey guys, it is almost 10:30. And we're getting ready to go out in Miami. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Trying to fit the Miami vibe. Obviously I'm not fully dressed. I'm gonna put a black maxi skirt on and do like a all black vibe, very beachy. And yes, it was all, as you can see, I'm like literally dripping in sweat right now. So it was way too hot for any kind of makeup. So we just did like, I just went overboard with like the glow. So I just did like a cream highlight and another cream highlight and then a powder highlight. Put some lashes on, very subtle ones. As you can see, I look kind of tired because I am actually very tired right now. I've still got jet lag. Like we had a nap earlier, kind of after I filmed. I think it was after I filmed the first clip. Still not rejuvenated. I'm kind of hungry, but anyway, we're gonna go out in Miami. Did I even tell you guys where we are right now? We're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but we're gonna go out in Miami, see what it's like, see what the vibe is, and I'm gonna bring my film stuff on my phone for you. When we leave right now, I'm just gonna shut the door. Can you just slam it? I don't know if the word's like that. I don't know how the word. They're just not connected. The door is up.
I keep just snooze it and
What are you doing, man?
Flag of Jamaica, flag of the United States.
Hello, is he outside? We're walking to the store now. Alright, bye Ravana, bye. You better get it before we leave.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh crap. Wait. No.
People say I drive too fast, move too fast, live too fast. Ain't no such thing as too fast. People say I drive too fast, move too fast, live.
And the number of synchronistic experiences I had when I went to the US, I was just, I was lapping it up. You know, if you watch my other content, you know I've been trying to like really get down this human design like kind of way of being, and I feel like it's just a combination of things. It's not just one, it's not just astrology, it's never just human design, it's never just spiritual evolution. It's kind of like a blend of things, and me personally, I feel like different things all explain the same thing. So it doesn't matter what word I'm using, but you know, just in terms of like my spiritual growth, I've been embracing a lot more of my feminine energy. I've just been like sitting back and allowing things to happen, trusting that I'm gonna have the right experience for me. I mean, when I was asked if I wanted to go on this trip, you know, my financial situation was not like, yes, let's get a random trip to Florida, to a state that you don't really want to go to. You've never actually been like, yeah, it was the first time I go to USA, I'm gonna go to Florida. Like, that was never on my mind. So when I was asked to go on this trip, I was kind of like, don't know if that's really what I want to do right now. I was very hyper focused on work and stuff like that as well. But I took a little time and I realized like the excitement was growing, and I was like, okay, let's go. So I did it on a whim, spontaneous trip, and it was worth everything. When I'm talking about synchronicities is because obviously I'm in Fort Lauderdale and once I arrived in Fort Lauderdale, I was kind of like, oh, is this it? Like, there's not, especially the part that we were in, I should say, it's not like the whole of Fort Lauderdale or anything like that. I saw a very small part of Florida and Fort Lauderdale and Miami even. But when I was just in there, I was kind of like, there's just not a lot to do, there's not a lot going on. I feel like I'm not really here experiencing anything. Like, I'm not really here experiencing America. I mean, even my family's home was very Caribbean in its style, and I was just kind of like, I feel like I could, that's what I meant, like I feel like I could be anywhere in the world. I feel like I could be in the Caribbean right now and it wouldn't make any difference that you told me I was in Florida, because everywhere I was looking was just kind of like, I've seen this before. So funny enough, my cousin had gone on a trip previously in the year, and someone she had met on the trip lived in Miami, which she didn't know, but she posted that we were in Florida, and they were like, well, I'm in Miami, come down to Miami, like I'll show you around and all this kind of stuff. So that basically got us into Miami, and I feel like there was a part of me that really wanted to go to Miami, and I was like, yes, see, I didn't have to do shit. And plus, when I talk about this human design shit, like, I have a fourth line and my opportunities come through my network. So my network being my cousin and using her own networks as well, I guess, whatever. She had to do her own thing, like I didn't have to do anything, and here I am enjoying Miami. So we ended up going to, the first night we went into Miami, we went to like this indoor outdoor, I don't know what you would call it, but it was like kind of like an outdoor party vibe. We ended up getting in pretty late, so we didn't even get to spend much time in there. And one thing I have been missing in the UK, because I don't have a lot of Caribbean friends, and as much as I love piano sometimes, I like lyrics. I am like a sucker for bashment, soca, like it's my guilty pleasure, especially bashment music. So it was just nice to be around like that really yardie-ish behavior. I don't know what it is, but I was just like, my heart was so full. I was like, this is what I've been missing so much in the UK. It's just like this kind of environment, and it was hot, like you're outside, I'm outside. They had like little fire people blowing fire and stuff behind us, which was not fun, to be honest. I mean, it was just like, whoop, it's already hot and you're blowing fire at me. Yeah, it's not a good vibe right now. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the music. It was just nice to be out and enjoying life, because I don't do that a lot these days, and it was a good feeling. So I was like, yeah, I vibe with this, because the person that she knows is Jamaican, so they were kind of more into that stuff as well. Obviously that kind of music and whatnot, that vibe. So like I said, we kind of ended up arriving pretty late, so we stayed for probably about an hour or even like, I think it was like 40 minutes max that we were in that place, despite like getting shisha, despite all the things that we had bought and stuff. It was literally over before we knew it. So we kind of drove around a couple of different like bars and clubs, and some wouldn't let us in because of the shoes we were wearing, which were like just open, like backless sandals. So some they didn't mind you having sandals, but they didn't want it to be like backless. Like they wanted you to basically, it wouldn't be able to come off your foot too easily. So we couldn't get in there. I can't remember which order of events we did stuff in, but I know we stopped in to another kind of club slash bar, just kind of sat down, and just, yeah, not really sat down, but like just had a little dance still. Was trying to continue the night, but it wasn't really giving, let's be honest. It wasn't really giving at that point of the night. And we went to this place called Talking Tacos, and we got a little birria taco. Birria, I think that's how you say it. I've been wanting to try one of those tacos for ages, but this one did not hit. I think it, you know, it was a very late night kind of spot. Obviously I feel like the food isn't really going to hit as much as if you went somewhere legit, somewhere fresh. But yeah, it was not giving. And I realized I don't like corn tacos. I like flour tacos. I think I'm saying it right. The right version. So I mean, like corn tortillas and versus flour tortillas. So I like flour tortillas, and corn tortillas is not for me. It's not for me at all. So I didn't enjoy that much. Didn't enjoy that food that much. We ended up stopping in 7-Eleven because, like I said, I've never been to America, so never been to 7-Eleven. They do have a 7-Eleven in like some different countries, like particularly Asian countries, I think, sometimes. So my cousin went to Thailand once, so she's been to 7-Eleven, but I was kind of like, I want to see what's inside, which is good. I went inside at that point because there was no other 7-Elevens that we got to go inside of. So we kind of just had a little look around, see the vibe. Like when you watch stuff and then you're in it, you kind of, I don't know, you kind of just want to see it for yourself. So yeah, we ended up at the slushie counter. My cousin wanted to try a slushie, so she got a slushie. It wasn't bad actually, it was not bad, but yeah, I don't know. Slushie from a 7-Eleven. I got it. So that was night one. We went back to the person's crib and we just kind of, why did I call it a crib? I never say that word. Oh, let me just rephrase that. We went back to the person's flat, which they had a beautiful view of like the kind of sky, I don't know if you call it a skyline, but like you know, the buildings, and it was all at night, and it was really nice because one of my kind of dream places to live is somewhere that kind of has that kind of scenic view, that view of like buildings, that very like city, standard city view, and I just love that. So it was nice to kind of be there. You know how they say when you want to manifest something, like it's good to kind of put yourself in that place. So it was so nice to be able to put myself in that place unintentionally, because you know, like I said, I didn't plan for any of this to happen, but to be put in this place and be able to feel within my soul like, oh yeah, this desire that you have to like be somewhere that mimics this kind of vibe. Yeah, it's not an egoic desire, like even if it is, it still really is something that you want. It's something that you feel good within this place. Like, I'm scared of heights, but I just didn't feel that kind of irrational fear standing on that balcony. I felt kind of safe in that place. So I feel like it was a good omen, a good sign that that's for me as well. So I liked that. And they had like a little golf layout on their balcony, and we kind of played a game of golf, of like this mini, it wasn't like golf, it's like, I don't know what you would call it, but a mini golf game, we'll call it that, which I did pretty well at. I am telling you guys, I have like beginner's luck when it comes to games. I don't know what it is, but if it's the first time I'm playing the game, I'm usually going to do well. So if you guys want me to, I've heard this thing where it's like also to do with gambling. So if you've never gambled before, you're supposed to get someone who's a beginner, who's never gambled before, and they'll win you money or something like that. So I'm a lucky charm for that right now, because I've never gambled in like a official casino or anything. Yeah, actually I've never gambled anywhere. I've never even bought a lottery ticket. It's not my vibe. But yeah, for whoever's the first person for me to do that for them, they're a lucky person. So anyway, that was the first night in Miami. We went back, I'm not sure what we got up to exactly that day. I haven't any clips, I'll insert it now. Hey guys, it's the afternoon now. Yeah, last night was fun, I want to say. Why do I look so incredibly oily? Dang. It's probably a mixture of sweat. But yeah, last night was fun, actually. It was nice to get out, do something different, live out the Miami dream. It's so weird, like stuff was happening and I was like, I literally thought about this. So I never ended up going into detail about this, but because sometimes I feel a bit weird, but this is a spiritual channel, so I should be able to share my spiritual experiences. And basically back in 2021, I kept having these, the only way I can describe them as like a vision. So like I kept having this mental image over and over again, and basically the image that I saw, and it wasn't exactly the same, but just the essence of the image, yeah, it was a moment when I was in Miami and the image was there. I was like within the image that I had been imagining. So that was like a really weird thing for me. I was like, okay, so when I have these like very weird kind of images pop up in my mind, they are meaning something, even if it takes like another 2 years for it to happen, you know. I don't know, I'll explain it better probably when I get back home. I'm just getting clips whenever I can. I'm trying to be in the moment, you know, I'm trying to enjoy myself, not think about too much. Just re-sticking my nails for about the 100th time. Pain works out for me. I'm a lucky girl. All good things flow to me. But yeah, many weird, not weird, but just synchronicities happening, I think, I want to say. So I will talk about those when I get back properly. But anyway, the next day we went back to Miami. The person whose place we went to, they had a swimming pool in their building, so we were originally gonna go and like have a little swim and like that kind of vibe of stuff. Hey guys, new day, what's on the cards today? Maybe going to the pool. We went out yesterday, there was a guy giving out tickets for another party, so we might go to that one, we'll see. We're not really in the mood, to be honest, so we'll see how the day goes and then we'll make a decision. But who knows? We're just feeling like, let's get some dinner and chill
And watch the sun go down.
and watch the sun go down. I need to brush my dog. event that we got tickets for by going to the first place that we went on the first night. So we got like these little, I'll show you. So actually I'm using it as like a bookmarker right now, but basically they give you these like little, they do this in the UK as well, but they'll give you like one of these things like, hey, there's another party going on, let's go to it. So we kind of like, okay, why not? So we ended up going on Fridays because this one says it's on Saturday, and this was the second event we went to. If I stand out of breath, it's because I literally just run upstairs.
Don't be mad at me.
What the hell was that?
Monica.
I don't even know if this is the event we went to, but we kind of just went along with it. But anyway, so that was the second event we went to, and again, unexpectedly, who was at the event? Monica, no less than the R&B queen, Monica. Okay, I can't lie, I'm casting her up and I didn't actually know who she was until like the last song. I mean, I'm the type of person, I know songs, I don't know artists' names. Like, you'll be like, oh yeah, this song by da da da, and I'll be like, who's that? And then you start playing the song and I'm like, oh yeah, I know this song. That's just me all over. Like, names, I don't do well with names at all, and also faces. So when I saw her, she was singing kind of like a little other songs that she has. I don't know who that was, but we got to see her for free, so that was fun. Had a couple drinks there, then we went to another bar, met up with the person who we were with, his friend also, and another one of their friends. So it's kind of like a little group of us now, and we went to another club, I should call it. Actually, it wasn't a bar, it was a club. It was very dark. I don't know if I really enjoyed the club that much. I feel like I'm kind of over club vibes. I prefer more, I'm learning that I prefer a more like intimate setting. Like, I prefer a house party. I prefer, I don't know, like maybe a bar or something. Like, I don't like too much of like loud music where I'm shouting, you can't conversate. And so basically I just kept going to the toilets, because you know in the toilets, like, there's girls to talk to, there's, I don't know, like, there's just people you can conversate with, and I just preferred that than being in like a loud club and kind of just standing there and like dancing and being gawked at. It's just not, it wasn't really the vibe so that I was feeling. So that day they got drinks for the table, and I feel like I was doing that people pleaser thing where I knew that my cousin and her friend weren't drinking, so I was almost doing double just so that I didn't feel bad that people had bought drinks for the table, basically. So I was just overdoing it, and knocked out that day. I remember bits and pieces of the night, but it's not great. I hate when I black out because I'm just like, bleh, like so sloppy, not the vibe. And it also, we were drinking tequila, and now I'm that person that has had that experience where whenever I think of tequila, it's just like not for me. I can't do it. Like, I can't picture myself drinking tequila again. I would have rather drink vodka, even though I was already a vodka person. I was never really a tequila person, but yeah, just the idea of it, the way it made me feel, like the next day, I didn't throw up or anything, but when I woke up the next day and I was still kind of like feeling that very drunkenness, and like I was trying to pull myself together and I could not. So yeah, and that whole day I was just gone. We still had to visit my uncle in the hospital that day, and I was struggling to pull through. So I was very hungover and yeah, it was just not great. So I will not be drinking tequila again, thank you, and I will never be drinking more than I know I should, just to make anyone else happy. Like, if people want to buy drinks for a table, cool, that's up to them, but I'm not drinking to prove anything, to like be like, oh thank you, like no, absolutely not. That was a lesson learned, absolutely. So yeah, one thing I've noticed is I keep meeting celebrities and I'm like, wait, what does this say about me? Because I really truly believe, like, anyone, can you please comment below if you have noticed this too, or if this is like, I don't know, but comment below if you can relate to this or you see this pattern too. But I truly believe that the people who you surround yourself with, who you come across, are the people that you will meet throughout your lifetime. Okay, that was a terrible way of explaining this, but I'll give you an example. So for example, let's say you meet your future spouse and you both went to this, fucking hell, what can I say? It's like you meet your future spouse and their best friend also went to your primary school, like something like that. Like it's almost like, but your future spouse was born in Germany or something. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to necessarily mean that that person was within your vicinity. It's almost like, oh gosh, okay, sorry, I'm going a bit off topic here, but this is a really big theory I have, I'm not gonna lie, and I just need someone to hear me out here. But I feel like our energy like has this kind of orbit, and everyone who we will ever meet in our life at one point or another kind of gets sucked into the orbit or becomes part of the orbit. Oh my gosh, my battery is flashing. It's probably telling me to absolutely shut up. But so actually I'll even use my dad as an example. So my dad is getting married this weekend actually, and him and his current fiance, she is originally from Peterborough, so that's where she grew up, that's where her family is and everything like that. And my dad did not grow up in Peterborough, but his family on his dad's side, I want to say it, were located in Peterborough. So he spent a lot of his childhood summers in Peterborough. So it's almost like these two people who may have never actually met, but they orbited, I don't even know if that's the right word, but they kind of like, I don't know, their energies were within the same orbit and they ended up meeting and having a significant connection. You know that phrase, it's a small world, when you meet someone and they meet someone, you're like, oh shit, you know them too? Oh my gosh, it's such a small world. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you get it? I'm going on a huge tangent here, but it's something I truly believe happens. Like when you meet people, I don't know how to explain it, but you get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's move on from that. Miami was a good time. When I was in Miami, I don't know, if I was kind of like, this is Miami, okay cool, this is what everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm going to Miami. Like, you know when you see all the vlogs and people go to Miami for their birthdays and for what's the thing that you guys have in America, but during the summertime when you guys are away, summer break, spring break, that's what I meant, spring break, and you guys like go to these different places. Yeah, so I was like, okay cool, this is Miami, this is the vibe, whatever, cool. But then coming back home, once I actually got back home, like I said, it takes me a little time to kind of know if I like something or not. So when I got back home, I was like, actually I would revisit Miami. I don't know if I would purposefully go there, like, oh yeah, I'm going to America to go to Miami, but I think if I was invited there or someone was having something there, I would be very happy to go back, if that made sense. So yeah, Miami was a vibe, that's what I'm trying to say. So I enjoyed that part of the trip very much. Did I even talk about the second day? So the second day, yeah, absolutely terrible. And yeah, that was it. So we spent the rest of the week in Fort Lauderdale. So let's move on there. I'm going to talk about some of the US foods that we tried. So the main two foods that we tried, I wish we could have tried more, but I feel like because it was such an unplanned trip, we didn't really have the kind of like, I guess we didn't really have the independence to go places by ourselves. I mean, obviously we did if we wanted to, but how can I say it? You know, when we go on trips, we sort of plan where we want to go. We kind of know what kind of stuff we want to do, and we make sure we have the right budget for it as well. So I guess we didn't really have the budget for everything we wanted to do, and we didn't really have the, we'll just call it the independence to go and do stuff, because we kind of had to, you know, make sure that we were spending time with family and the purpose of why we were on the trip, right? It comes back down to the purpose, that why we were there. So we did luckily get to try Chick-fil-A and McDonald's. I will tell you another testimony of the using my human design to get McDonald's, but here we go. So Chick-fil-A, we tried that. This is actually trying Chick-fil-A ended up being one of my favorite kind of memories of the trip, just because it was just such a funny experience. So we luckily got a lift to, so Chick-fil-A was located in the mall that was kind of a little bit further away from where we were staying, and we luckily got a lift to Chick-fil-A. We said we were gonna go Chick-fil-A, and my cousin kind of ended up going looking in the shops because she wanted to get a couple of like gifts people back home. So instead of going straight to Chick-fil-A, we actually secretly, this is literally a secret between us guys, like only me and you know this, and my cousin, okay? No one else knows this. You cannot tell anyone else this, because we were really sneaky here, and I just love when we're a little bit sneaky. But anyway, so we ended up going in like all the little shops, like literally looking around. This guy was kind of waiting for us, which he waited for us basically to come back out the shop, like he didn't just drop us there. So I felt a little bit bad. I was what's the word? I'm really struggling with words today, but I was unaware of the true purpose of the trip, okay? I was brought along, I was dragged along. It wasn't me, it was against my will. But anyway, it was a funny little thing, because we were just running in and out of the shops because we had to kind of hurry up at the same time. And once we came out, we were like, oh, the line was just so long. I don't know if this is going to translate well. This probably sounds like really mean girl behavior, but I don't know, it was just funny for me. Maybe I won't add this in, and it will just kind of be a private memory for me, because I personally found it hilarious. But whatever. But anyway, as we were kind of looking around, going in and out of the shops and stuff, ended up getting some more gibbets, if that's what they're called, for my Crocs. They are now fully full. Okay, so Croc gibbets. Funny enough, my mum was like, is this supposed to be the good side and the bad side? I was like, well, kind of works actually. Pretty sums up my personality. One thing I love about going on trips, the last couple of trips I've been on, which were Amsterdam and I think there was another one, I think it was Mexico, I've been trying to find gibbets, because ever since we went to Turkey and we found these ones, I found this one, well, you guys can see on my Turkey vlog, but I found like these three, and I think another one. No, I found these three in Turkey. And yeah, I've been trying to find a Rick for my Morty, obviously, and we ended up finding that. But in terms of this shoe, which one I added from fucking hell, all over the place, which one I added from Florida was this little Hello Kitty one. Originally we were looking for my cousin, but I'm obsessed with these little things, so I picked up a whole bunch. It was kind of like a deal of, I think it was like 3 for 6 or 6 for something. I think it was 6 for something. So as you can see, I was picking up a whole bunch. I got a little Starbucks one for my sister as well, because she likes Starbucks. And when we went to Mexico, someone stole some of these off her shoe, which I think is so feisty. Like, how can you do that? How can you really be fast to steal some of these off someone's shoe? But anyway, these are all new. These are all from Florida. So we have a little Chucky. This is my bad side. We have a little anime girl. We have my Rick, finally, to meet my Morty. And we have a little Hello Kitty one again. So I always said that I wanted the theme of these Crocs, because me, I'm very, I don't know, I feel like I never just do stuff. Like, I have to actually probably think about shit that I'm doing. So I always said I wanted the theme of those Crocs to be like cartoon characters. I also forgot to show you this other gibbet I picked up, which is a black girl graduation hat. The year I graduated, it was literally perfect. I could not have passed it up. So I don't know what Crocs those are going to end up on, but it was too perfect to pass up. So I'm happy with that it's complete. I don't know what theme I'm going to do next on a new Crocs when I get them eventually, but I'm now Crocs obsessed. So yeah, that was my kind of little souvenirs for the trip. And I do really like going away and just digging in. Like usually when you go away and there's like those little like gibbet places, and they're just like loads, and you just like gonna look inside. I don't know, there's something about little like trinkety things that I just love. So anyway, back to Chick-fil-A. Okay, so I haven't filmed all day, but we have just come from Chick-fil-A. Hold on, let me just twist it like this.
The lighting's not very good, is it?
Sorry, yeah, the lighting's not great in here.
Maybe you should turn the brightness on your laptop up.
One that looks like the sun.
Who just brought something on my phone?
No. So yeah, we're gonna do a little try of everything. I got the honey mustard sauce. If I can open it. Got a honey mustard. Oh my god, this battery's low too. What the hell? Right, if this changes, it might go matricol on my phone. And I can't open the sauce. And I also got the Chick-fil-A sauce, of course. I feel like I've got a very sensitive stomach after going out for the past 2 days. I'm like, I've never been that person that if you think about the alcohol, it makes you want to throw up. But right now, it's not sitting well with me. And just smelling that sauce. Anyway, let me try and just eat some of this quickly. So this is the Chick-fil-A Deluxe, I think. Standard chicken pepper jack cheese.
Standard.
Like not the spicy one.
It's horrible. I don't like it.
It's nice. But I wouldn't be like, whoa.
Let's go back.
This is revolutionary. To me, it tastes like a KFC. If I'm being honest with you. It's nice though. The bread's really nice. Can I try and open this, please? Like, right, I can't open that sauce, so we're gonna do this. This is now not crispy because it's been in our bag. But we'll try the honey mustard since I got that one open.
Is your burger cold?
Nice actually. Shame I can't try the chips and they're crispy, or the crisp cuts or whatever they're called. Here we go. Let's get the sauce open before the battery fully runs out. Smells good.
Oh, heat my food up.
So it's like a Big Mac sauce.
It says no, it doesn't. It tastes like barbecue. I think sweet barbecue.
Oh yeah, now the
with
sweetness
mayo.
is coming through.
I think it's real good. So yeah.
You're gonna heat it up?
Yeah.
You're gonna make it soggy, but
I like soggy food. I like soggy anything.
okay. Oh, one more thing. Oh, not you. Sorry. Is cookies and cream shake. Give it a little stirry stir. Yeah, that is very beautifully sweet. Well, I'm gonna enjoy this now. I probably should have showed you guys it up close. There you go. This is very, very nice. I would come back for the shake. I feel like I'm enjoying the drinks more from where we've been going than the actual food. I mean, obviously the food is great, but like I said, it's not revolutionary. I do think if maybe we had got the Chick-fil-A when it was like fresh, I definitely did try it fresh because we didn't try it fresh and we got it delivered, so it definitely was like kind of, oh no, we didn't get it delivered, but we picked it up and it was, and we had to wait till we get back. So yeah, it wasn't the same, to be honest. Like the crisp cuts, which I call crisp cuts, which are the chips or whatever you want to call it, waffle fries, that's it. Waffle fries weren't very crispy. And yeah, I didn't think it was revolutionary. I think it was just kind of like giving me KFC, but the sauce was giving me Big Mac. You get it? Like a sweet version of Big Mac. I will say everything in America is like extra sweet. It's a little bit too much for me. I can't do too much sweetness. Like too much ain't for me. But anyway, the second place that we went to in America to kind of try the food was McDonald's. I forgot to mention, we actually ended up trying the Chipotle there as well. We do have Chipotle in the UK now, but I'm guessing it is different. The chicken tastes a lot more like kind of Cajun-y, if that's the right way of describing it. But yeah, we accidentally tried Chipotle because we ordered Wingstop, and I'm still sad we never got to try Wingstop, but the driver gave us the wrong food. So yeah, we were stuck with our Chipotle. You know, if you watch my other vlogs, that me, my cousin and my sister have a pact. We have to try McDonald's in every country that we go to, as long as they have McDonald's anyway. But we always do our best to try the McDonald's. And where I say this was like another one of another testimony of me using my human design and kind of just I guess just kind of like a synchronistic event of things, was because it was our last full day, or was our last day? Was our last full day or our last day? I want to say it was our last full day in the US, in Florida. And we had just visited my uncle from the hospital. And by this point I was really hungry, because I don't know why, but we were just really hungry at that point. And we actually got picked up by my auntie's friend. And she was kind of like asking us, you know, if there's anything that we wanted to eat or anything like that. And of course we were pretty hungry, so we were like, yeah. Yeah, but we didn't have, I think it was our last day actually. Yes, it was our last day, and we weren't sure if we were going to be able to get to McDonald's within that time, because like I said, everything's pretty far. And so like getting places wasn't so easy and stuff like that. And also our budget was in pennies. Like, we weren't really trying to spend that much money either. So we had these two kind of obstacles, and I was kind of just like, you know what, if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. So again, like I said, sitting in that feminine energy of kind of just like, it is what it is, and I'm okay with either, really has been helping me. I've noticed like such a big difference in things just coming, like being like, hey, here it is. Like, you sat, you waited, you didn't put pressure on it, and here it is. So it was not a lesson to myself. But so we had come out of the hospital, and we didn't have enough time. That's why I say it was the last day, because we didn't have enough time to kind of like sit down and have a meal. I mean, I would love to try a different place, but I was kind of like, me, when it's like travel days, I get very kind of like, I don't like to leave things to last minute. I want to make sure I'm packed. I want to make sure like I'm in the hotel, or I'm at my place, or wherever it is, where all my stuff is, so that I can just kind of go. I don't want to feel like I'm going from, so like say if we had gone for a meal, I don't want to feel like I had to go to a meal and then like rush home and then rush straight to the train station, because I would just feel like I didn't have enough time to like check the room and stuff like that. So I get very paranoid. I get very like anxious about travel days. That's why I don't really vlog when I'm in the airport either, because I'm just like, show your passport, like concentrate and just make sure you're getting through all the security. Then I finally relax. I actually fully relax once I'm on the plane and the plane's taking off. That's when I'm fully relaxed. I'm like, okay, there's nothing else done. I'm through. There's no one that can tell me like, you haven't got this document or anything like that. Like, you're done. Like, that's when I fully relax, which isn't the best, but I'm sure we will improve with the more travel that we do. Yeah, so we ended up just being like, okay, well, should we just get Mackey's? So we were like, oh yeah, we'll go to McDonald's or something like that. So we went to McDonald's last minute, last day, got a lift to McDonald's, and she was so kind enough to pay for it for all of us as well. So I mean, it's not saying that I thought she was going to pay for the meal or anything like that. It's just that she had the transport for us. But you know, transport to McDonald's, paid for McDonald's, all within the last day. So very grateful, and I hope you guys can see how I meant that was synchronistic as well. McDonald's, I thought they would have a little bit more different options than the UK. I think the UK actually has more options than the US. The US is very basic in McDonald's, kind of like, at least the lunch menu anyway. I think you just have bigger, everything's bigger, although it didn't really feel that much bigger, really. And probably felt like a large meal. A small felt like a large. And you guys have like a lot more nugget options. Like, you'll have like 60 nuggets or something crazy like that would be maximum we have 20. So yeah, and again, everything's just a little bit sweeter. Like, the chips just tasted a little bit sweeter. I don't think that tasted necessarily better. And the burger as well, I think, was just a bit sweeter. Again, I'm not too much of a sweet tooth. I am, but I'm not, I don't know, I'm very simple with my flavors. I did like the Oreo, it was like an Oreo coffee iced latte type thing, McCafe, I can't remember what it's called. I mean, we have a version of it here. We don't have an Oreo one, but we have like the iced coffee type thing here, and I liked it. It was, again, very, very sweet, so after a while it did get a bit sickening. It was like, ugh, which is something I don't really have that problem here, but yeah, I don't think I'd be rushing to get a McDonald's in the US again. I think I would rather get a Chick-fil-A again. Do you get what I mean? Like, between the two, I'd rather go for a Chick-fil-A. Even though Chick-fil-A is expensive. It's expensive, guys. Like, damn. All your food is expensive. I was like, shit. Ooh. And then you got tip everything, tip everywhere. Not for me, man. It's not for me. One thing I will say is that I did find that, I think in the UK, when tip is included in a restaurant or places, I find that the service is so much worse than when tip isn't included. I feel like the servers are kind of just like, well, get a tip anyway, so they do like the absolute bare minimum. But in the US, at least the places that I experienced, I would say that the servers were like very on it. They were very like attentive. Like, one restaurant we went to, my cousin didn't like her drink and he bought her a different drink, so it wasn't like a big thing, you know. It was very like, these people were earning their tips, you get it? So I did like that. Another thing, if you guys have watched my video back in back in March or April, I don't know when it went up, but it was basically when it was a vlog when I was preparing to go to my coaching, that event where I was doing like that speed coaching thing. And I was like, you know how like a lot of spiritual people, they dress very like hippie-ish and stuff, and that's not really my vibe. Oh my gosh. So when we were sitting at the table, my cousin's friend was like, you give me a hippie vibe. And you know how much my sidereal Aquarius sun was screaming? Like, she's like, no, I am not a basic bitch. I am done. I am done. But I just took it like a champ. I was like, really? Okay. It's like tear watering in my eye. Like, oh. I do think maybe around summertime, when I'm on holiday and stuff, maybe I do give a bit more like I want to call it hipster, but a hippie vibe. I don't know. But I've always said, even though I like that vibe, I feel like it doesn't look good on me. So I don't know. I think it's just the clothes that I ended up having at that time. I don't think it's accurate, but whatever. I know I shouldn't be so like sensitive about shit, but I'd be sensitive when people say stuff to me. I'll be like, what do you mean? What do you mean you think you know me? You don't act like you know me, bitch. You don't know me. Like, I might be hippie today, but tomorrow I'm gonna be grungy as hell. So don't try and think you know me. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that because it's funny. Because like I said earlier in this vlog, like, if I say stuff, take it with a pinch of salt, because the next day I'm gonna be proving myself wrong. So another favorite day of mine is, and another synchronistic event is, I really wanted to go kind of thrifting. I mean, or vintage shopping or whatever. Not really vintage shopping, but like more so thrifting, because every time I go away, this is the one thing that I feel like my cousin and my sister do not like to do when we go away, is go like kind of thrift shopping. And I like it because I just don't know, I like the idea of thrift shopping. So I kind of wish that I could get to go into like a thrift store vibe in America and just see what it's like, see if there's any pieces, you know, to see if we can get something unique, something different, because I feel like you guys always get the best stuff there. And we don't really have like big thrift stores like that. So I really wanted to do that, and I was kind of I mean, in my opinion, I wasn't thinking that there was going to be an opportunity to do anything like that. But we ended up going in this little like this store that I wouldn't call it exactly thrifting, but it definitely had the vibe of it. It definitely was like, you know, discounted pieces and like stuff like that. It was giving me very TK Maxx vibes, but more clothing options. So I was kind of like, oh, when I walked, after a while I was like, oh damn, did I just get what I wanted? Like, are we not just thrifting right now?
We're at a shop that reminds me of of TK Maxx. It's very TK Maxx vibes. I'm not actually sure what it's called. Currently picked up this bag. sunnies. Sunnies too. We don't know about these yet, but Daja's just. Oh, you haven't even smelled that yet.
What?
This
Oh, that's
perfume.
true. I know. Because you can't get
Told you it's hard to push these trolleys, you know.
Should we get a rug?
Ooh. Should we get a rhino thing? Oh, the cat. The what? The plants? Yeah. Me too. Actually, I like furniture, proper furniture. Like this. Like, let's get excited about this.
Instant bubble tea.
But we don't even like these.
Neither do I. How about for cake summer?
She doesn't like them either, so no point. My mum tried. Did my mum say she liked it?
Yeah, she
Milk tea powder, bubble straw, and you get the pearls.
Ooh, do you get a cup?
No.
Should I get Eddie's cake?
She liked it, did she like it, or she didn't like it? Oh, that's cute.
It's not going in
It's
my
just noodles though. I want this creepy doll. Hello. Why does Anna look like 40 years old? She's aged. Oh, this is cute. I would have had this when I was younger.
That was like you.
Jasmine.
That's me!
That is a cute one. Calm as well. Do you have Disney Plus?
So when we were in the store, I remembered that those TikToks where people will like pick out outfits for their friends and then try to, and like they'll go in the changing room, put them on and like walk around in them. Obviously we weren't going to try and buy any outfits because who's wasting their money like that, but we could go in the changing rooms and try them on. So this is a little clip of us doing that. I thought it was hilarious.
We decided to do the game where you have to pick out outfits for each other. The theme is American, so let's go. Don't forget the trolley. Who's gonna get the trolley? Okay, you gotta go by yourself. I gotta go. Okay, let's say. American Hospital. Dashi, get away from me. Perfect. This one. Are we allowed to bring accessories in though? What has this girl got me? Like, look how big these are, please. That ain't fit. Please. I ain't even putting these on. I'm not doing that, but I told you. See? Hey. See what I did? Daji, as you know, the pants are too big. You look cute. You look so cute. Yes, American chic.
The theme for the outfits was American, and I wanted to give my cousin something I know she would absolutely never have worn. And funny enough, this actually ties into the hippie stuff, but I know my cousin would absolutely never wear a maxi skirt, kind of give that kind of hippie earth girl. Is there another word for it? I'm sure there is, but you know, like that yogi kind of vibe. She does not give that at all. She gives bad bitch 24/7. So I wanted to give her something that kind of emulated that, and I think she looked great in it, I can't lie. And the way I just color matched, perfecto mando. And on her body too, like it looked good, but she even just debated whether she wanted to keep the top. Like, okay, thank you, yes please. I did good, but it was funny. It was just nice seeing her in something different and like taking her out of her comfort zone through that way. But that was a cute little game that we played. Like I said, I love being around my cousin and my sister, especially when I go away, because we've grown up together and we just always bring out that kind of childlike joy in each other. And it's just so fun being with them because they're just down for anything. I mean, my sister wasn't there. She was away on her own holiday, I want to say. No, she wasn't. I don't know, she wasn't there, but they're down for anything, and I just love that we're just always like, do you know what, yeah, why not? Why the hell not? my inner child's pretty healed, but it was a little like childlike joy moment, and I loved it. We ended up going to the cinema and we watched The Blackening. And I'm gonna give that movie an 8.5 out of 10 because it was funny. The only reason I'm not giving it like a 10 out of 10 is because I guessed the plot, and even though like I guessed the plot and then it kind of did something, I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. And then I got back into the film again and like stopped trying to like overanalyze it, and then I realized I was right, and then it was like the point where I realized that, oh, I had guessed the plot. So that kind of brought it down to like about an 8.5. But overall, like the comedic timings of everything, I feel like one thing I would say, it's very heavily American centralized, like as in like obviously it's about, well, if you don't know the plot of the movie, but it's about these black people who go, it's like a black horror film. I would call it more of a, is it horror or a thriller? No, not a thriller. Yeah, I would call it horror. It definitely was not scary. Like if you're scared of horror films, it's not giving scary at all. It's like barely giving jump scare, I can't lie. I think I jumped like once and that's just because I'm a jumpy person, but it's really not giving like all bloody or like all gory or anything like that. It's like just mostly giving scary movie kind of horror, like kind of comedic vibes to it. So if you're scared or anything like that of watching it, then it's not as scary as you think. But like I was saying, is I think my only other criticism was that it's not really a criticism, but it's just kind of like from a black UK perspective, I didn't get all of the kind of jokes all the times, all of the phrases or anything like that. So it is very Americanized, like African American culture, I guess you would call it. So there was cultural differences, that's what I would say. But it was an American movie, so what can I expect? But that's all. Just some things I was like, huh, I don't get that, but it's still funny. But it's just so funny because like every point in the movie is like it's something I would do. I was like, oh yeah, I'm blackity black black. Yeah, it's just funny. I mean, you gotta watch it. I would recommend that you go and watch it if it's still in the cinema or when it comes out. So kind of one of the last things that we did, we went to the beach.
Don't get it. Do you enjoy being hurt? I know you smell the perfume, the makeup on the shirt. You believe his stories. You know that there are lines. Bad as you are, you stick around, and I just don't know.
We gotta go to the beach. We went to, I want to say we went to Fort Lauderdale Beach. I think it was that one. It was cute. It was nice. It wasn't too busy. We went during a weekday anyway, so we wouldn't expect it to be too busy, but yeah, it was just nice being on the beach, being in the water. And it's funny because when I was younger, I like always used to think like I was not a water person. Like I did not like to get wet and then like just have to sit around or get sticky with the sun cream and that kind of vibe. And yeah, I never really saw myself as like a sand and sea kind of person. But also because I really just didn't like swim classes. I didn't like having to get wet and then you dry yourself really quickly and then you have to put your clothes back on, and just the memories from it. But now that I'm older and I get to be in the sea, like being in a big body of water rather than being in a swimming pool is just, oh, it's majestic, it's beautiful, it's lovely, it's just calming, it's nice. I want to be back there, and I didn't really want to get out, but I knew I had to, and it was just, I could have stayed all day in the water, to be honest. It was great. And there was no seaweed either. Like when I went to Antigua, when I went to Mexico, seaweed in the water was not great. It was not fun to be in like the water. But here it was just, whew, it was really nice. So I enjoyed that, I really did. Even though I say we spent ages trying to look for a place to eat, we were walking up and down that strip and we ended up right at the same place that we left. And the food we ate was nice, actually. First time I ever tried steak chimichurri, I'm gonna call it. Is it called a chimichurri? Steak. The first time I ever tried that sauce and that steak, that kind of vibe, and I really liked it. I've heard people say that it's not as nice as it's hyped to be, but I liked it. I really enjoyed it. So I'm actually thinking about it now and I'm actually getting very hungry. Which is good because this is the last thing that I'm talking about today. Guys, I forgot to show you the little souvenir that I got from the beach. From when we went to the beach. If you know, then you know that I've been on the collection. I've been collecting lighters. I've always had this thing for collecting stuff. I don't know if it's a Piscean thing, but maybe it is. But I've always had the thing for like kind of collecting stuff. It used to be badges at one point. When I used to go on like school trips, I would always pick up a badge. Don't know why, but I did. And now it's lighters. Like, why do I need a lighter? I don't know, but I am obsessed. So this is the one for Fort Lauderdale. We got a little sandal, which I love. Little purple sandal. It even says it Fort Lauderdale in there. And it's going in the lighter collection. I don't know if I would ever use this because it kind of scares me, like the idea of using this. Going within my lighter collection at the moment. That was it. That was the last day that we had. I was at the beach. I think it was one of the last days. I don't know. Everything, the dates will be on the screen. You guys can kind of tell. I'm kind of saying things slightly out of order just because I want to put them, like, categorize them into things. But just to make it easier to talk about myself. And yeah, but yeah, that was my first ever trip to America. That was Florida 2023, baby. Miami, baby.
God good, and my money good, and my fam good, and my girl good, and my friends good, everything good, and we never spoil like a can good. I don't gotta act. In the hood, I ain't from the hood, but they still love me. Coulda music good, say you coulda done it, shoulda, woulda, could. I ain't superstitious, I ain't knocking wood. I am not religious, is that understood? I am not religious, is that understood?
It was a good time. It was. I'm definitely going to be holding that trip dear to my heart because there was just a lot of things I learned about myself. And you know, going through a spiritual awakening, it kind of takes a while to kind of put yourself back out there, to kind of interact with people again, because you are kind of a new person if you think about it. Like me, before this, I was never really, I wasn't like someone who was already into astrology or tarot, who had a conception of like spirit guides or ancestors or anything like this, or any kind of spiritual entities or bodies. I kind of just, before my spiritual awakening, I think that's why it's been such a massive shift for me and such a long time for me to kind of pull myself back into the world, put myself back into the world and enjoy being within the world again, is because previously I didn't really think of life like that. I thought of life as like humans, people, me in the world, and that was it. Whereas now my mind is like a lot bigger. I'm experiencing things, but I'm also more intuitive. I'm feeling things and I'm paying attention to how I'm feeling, and I'm taking it on board, and I'm not just ignoring it or brushing it off as something. One day I will talk all about my spiritual awakening, and I can't wait for that day to come. But for now, that's everything that I have. That is Florida 2023, like I just said. And I will see you all in my next one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video actually. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I do apologise that it was kind of like a talk through vlog. I'm now on my second like a double take of this SD card, so I think this is going to be kind of a long video of me chatting away. But I hope the little clips in between made it all worth it. And yeah, don't forget you can subscribe down below if you enjoy spirituality and lifestyle content. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye.
With Charlie's Angels, come on. Question, tell me what you think about me. I buy my own diamonds and I buy my own